Hey, this is Jeff Gagan with Your Lancaster Home TV. I'm here at a home in Lancaster City with Herb Ingram from Amerispec Home Inspections. Wanted to just take a quick minute here to talk about home inspections and what are they to the buyer, how important are they, and maybe a little history of home inspections, how they started out.
Sure.
You could give us a little background about how you got into the industry and then how the home inspections kind of developed.
Okay, basically how I got into the industry was I've always had an interest in owning properties and have owned rental properties for over 20 years and gained some experience that way. Wanted to work for myself and saw this as an opportunity to do that. Basically what happened with home inspections was in the 80s, more and more people were buying properties that were maybe not disclosed as well as they should have, the defects. People moved in and found out that there were significant issues in these properties, and that if a trained eye had looked at them, they would have avoided a lot of headaches, a lot of major expenses, a lot of health and safety issues, those types of things. So it really was a neutral party coming in, a trained eye, and objectively looking at the property to avoid the money pit was the famous movie that people thought about, and making sure that the house was
2 weeks. That's a quote from the Money Pit.
2 weeks, yeah. Yeah, so make sure there's no health and safety issues, and then it really wasn't a money pit, and the toilet wasn't going to come down through the floor. That's primarily what happened.
And who started out doing those? Was it contractors?
It basically was contractors. There was no regulation. It was anybody who felt that they had a good eye and some training, but there really was no regulation, so it was open to anybody. Now it's much more regulated. Some states have licensure. Pennsylvania has certification that's required, so it just can't be anybody. You do have to be trained and hopefully experienced.
And why do you think that home inspections are important for today's buyers?
I think they're...
Especially in the new market in 2011, with so many foreclosures on the market and distressed properties.
Distressed properties are neglected. Those are the types of properties that we're seeing more and more of, those types of properties that there are significant issues. And you still want to be buying a property that's safe, that you don't want to move in and find huge ticket issues in there that you just weren't aware of. Doing the home inspection allows you to make a decision. It's really about making an informed decision. You go in, you know what you're getting into, you can make a decision to go ahead forward, or you can say, you know what, this is too much for me.
Are there things that you find doing as many home inspections as you do around the Lancaster area that are kind of recurring issues, that maybe hot button issues that people tend to come up against with doing home inspections?
Well, your major system issues are going to be roofing issues, maybe some poor patching or some substandard work that way, heating systems that are old or neglected, those types of things where people just aren't taking care of their property very well.
Right.
Water penetration.
Vacant houses are probably a problem too, right?
Vacant houses, water penetration issues. Water can get into the house in so many different places. Water is an enemy of every house. Health and safety issues, disconnected flues that are allowing maybe carbon monoxide into the home. Those are the types of things, but it runs the gamut. Sometimes there are more maintenance issues, and sometimes the house has a lot of significant issues.
Do you find that home inspectors typically do you guys bump into each other a lot out there, or do you kind of have your own little corners of the county that you do, or is there any particular thing you want to advise a buyer about choosing a home inspector?
We don't really bump into each other so much. We generally have our own sort of cadre of realtors that trust us and use us and recommend us, or put us on a list type of a thing. I would say when you're choosing your inspector, if you're comfortable with the recommendation of your realtor, that's perfectly fine, and maybe they have a list for you. If you'd rather look in the yellow pages, if you'd rather research one of the professional organizations like ASHI.com or NAHI.com and find a professional person that's certified, that's another option. It's really up to you. There are a lot of different ways to find an inspector. Sometimes just word of mouth or friends and that kind of thing as well.
Cool. Well, I appreciate your time. We're about to go look at a house right now, actually, and do a home inspection. And maybe you'll see a little bit more about that in a future episode. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me at jeff@yourlancasterhome.com. Thanks, and have a great day.
Thanks.